Hey everyone, Yin Zhao here, doing an in the car video for Cyberfrog Blood Honey. Yin Zhao, you may ask, have you gone full diversity in comics, doing in the car videos? No, my mother in law is here. Last week, we had thousands of ants around the house. No matter how much we clean, they're still coming. Called an exterminator and they sprayed some kind of barrier that keeps bugs away from our home. This sadly did not work with my mother in law. If anyone has any tips for getting rid of your mother in law without making your wife want to divorce you, I would really appreciate it. But into the video. Cyberfrog Blood Honey came in yesterday, and I have to say the quality of the book is excellent. It is not perfect bound. It's got staples. There we go. The cover is a nice, very thick paper. I'm not sure the weight, but it is quite good. The pages, sort of a standard comic thickness. I guess maybe a little thin, but overall it's a good quality, holds the ink well. Just when I smear it, no schmutz. I don't know what people are complaining about, that it's all warped and everything. If we take a look at this guy here, there's no warping. Ink's not coming off of my hand, so I don't know what people are complaining about. Signature page in the front. Ethan Van Sciver, Kyle Ritter, Somni. Very nice. Nice dedication to his family here. And then we get into Cyberfrog. Now, I have to say, this is one of the most gorgeous books around. I'm just going to flip a little forward because the preview was online before. Sorry about the glare there. Just look at all the detail that went into these pages. Now, this is something that really sold me on the book because I never heard of Cyberfrog in the 90s. I was not an old fan. I was going to take a pass on the book originally just because, it didn't seem all that interesting. But dang, when Ethan did all those live streams, just drawing and drawing, and you look at how much actually goes into each panel. I mean, and let's not forget the colors. I mean, the Kyle Ritter colors are excellent. I imagine if I did acid, it would sort of be like reading this comic book because I just want to keep focus. I mean, look at how much detail he put into crap in people's backyard. That's crazy. I just want to look at everything and get in real close. Let's see. And some things are nice. You can definitely see, if you look at this building set right here, it really reminds me of a lot of very old school Todd McFarlane. If you go back to the very early Spawn days, this is kind of what his buildings looked like. I mean, okay, the book was, let me see, I think it was due November 2018. So we're almost a full year late. I think about 10 months. But holy crap, look at how much detail went into this. I mean, look, he didn't need to do this. That wasn't, look at all the, just even in the background stuff, all the little things. That's incredible. Now, I have to say, I did a quick review on Kyle Ritter and how he uses colors. And I have to say that this is much nicer to see it in its totality. Just the way that he makes certain colors pop, or he knows how to use the inverse by using cool against a very warmish background to really separate your foreground, middle ground, background. Story-wise, overall, the story is nice. It really starts back in the 90s. You get an origin for Cyberfrog, which I really think you need. I've heard some people complain that, oh, you didn't need to talk about that, just pick up with the story. But I think the last issue was somewhere in the mid to late 90s, like 98. Who the heck can remember what happened 20 years ago? So I think you really need that, especially for the new customers, the new readers coming in. The only thing that confused me a little bit is, okay, so there's a bee guy, and is he related to the Vespers? Or no? I don't know, because Salamandroid says they're robots. That's kind of weird. So let's just fast forward just a little bit. So then it picks up. Cyberfrog essentially goes into a state of suspended animation, and he wakes up and the world has been taken over by Vespers, and he's on the lookout for Heather. Just, man, look at the cost. Look at all the detail that went into this. Holy crap. I'd really love to know like how long it took Ethan to do each individual page. I think the average is like 1 page of work for an 8-hour day, but there's no way he could do this. I mean, I just don't see how this could be done in that quick of a time. So a couple downsides to it. One is just, I don't want to spoil the ending, but the story really stops abruptly, and it's clearly set up for the sequel, but it's one of those things where, I don't know. Now, I have a big problem with some of Ethan's heroes, which are the image guys. The image guys were excellent artists who decided, well, we'll go off on our own and we'll write the stories. And those stories almost all sucked. And they sucked hard. Maybe Spawn, maybe Todd McFarlane with Spawn, he had like 10-ish good issues in him before Spawn really started going down the drain. The other books, Jim Lee, Will Spertatio, Rob Liefeld never had a good story. I don't know. I still don't understand people's infatuation with that guy. So one of my big concerns with Ethan was that he was going to do his own story. But it's actually not bad, other than just like cutting it off right at the end. I don't know. It just feels weird and abrupt, and it kind of makes me think, if nobody told him to stop, he would have just kept going, writing and drawing this. I think it feels like, he better get it out, so he's got to cut it off at some point. It's actually not that bad of a point to come off, to stop with, and I think if he gets his planned trilogy, like this is a good ending to the first part. We've got all the introduction we need. We're introduced to the characters. We've set up the world and what's going on. The second one is where we explore the world and what people are going to do in it. One of the other sort of downsides is some of the lettering. Now, in general, I think the lettering is fantastic. But let's take a look at some of this. So I really, really love the way that the word balloons are sort of non-traditionally shaped. I love the green color around it. I love the borders. This is stuff that you saw in some Marvel comics, like New Mutants had Warlock. He spoke in a different way. In the Transformers books, they always spoke with a square box, whereas people had normal word balloons. This is great. The only problem I have is this font. Like, my God, some of these letters are so hard to read. Like this word expected, but expected is in a different font. And then you have like, I don't know, planners, uniform. That's all just so hard to really read. That is the one thing I would change. But if we look at, let me just fast forward a little bit here. So we have, I think this guy's possessed or something. He's got this weird medallion. Maybe that'll come up. Sorry for the interruption. I just got several spam calls in a row. But anyways, getting back to the text. Like the text here, I mean, look, he's a bee guy and the bubbles are, irregular shaped. Going back to the great looking text around Cyberfrog's dialogue himself, and the fact that it's colored, yellow inside, green around. I mean, this is overall a great job, except for, I revel in the, what the heck is that word? You really have to look to figure out its misery. Text, I sort of disagree with this kind of use of text. It's cool looking, but it would be much better if you could just read it right off the bat. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot to criticize. Are there occasional things that you could maybe say is not quite correct? Yeah, kind of, sort of. I would say like every now and again I could find something that looks just a tad off, but it's so nitpicky it's not even worth talking about. I mean, look at this small panel. Look at all that detail. Jeez. If more comics look like this, we would definitely have a resurgence in the industry. All right, as there is now a dump truck emptying garbage behind me, I think I'm going to have to sign off. Cyberfrog, Blood Honey, definitely a good buy. I'm definitely going to check out the next in the series. You always want to leave people wanting more. The abrupt cliffhanger did leave me wanting more. I just wish it were available now instead of whenever it's going to end up available. But great team, Van Sciver, Ritter, Somni. Definitely check out this work and check out whatever else they're doing. So if you like this video, please click subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Did you like Blood Honey? Did you not like Blood Honey? Do you know how I can get rid of my mother-in-law? All tips are welcome.